We're back. Naya's coffee. I need to put the printer on a granite surface plate. Yeah, it's where it is a bit wobbly. That table's got the wobbles. It's not great. I mean, it doesn't help that I'm running it at an absurdly high speed also. Aha, we're full of landfill. Yeah, normally that printer's meant to run at like 20 to 30 millimeters a second, and I'm running it at 50. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's still got 6.5 hours to go on the print. The problem I have is stuff's not sticking. The first layer not sticking to the bed, or it does stick and then it lets go. It usually either doesn't adhere at all, or the entire thing slips off. It's been an ongoing problem I have with it. Proper milling machine. Hmm. The sort of speed that it's running at right now is getting up into what a real machine would run at. Found a way to load mini library. Ooh, testing time. I've got a few friends who've done similar things, made their own CNC machines. It's crazy stuff. Well, it's not that crazy. It's pretty. It's actually easy to do. It's just um, the quality of the workmanship that goes into it more so than anything else, and the money into the parts, of course, because cheap parts um, isn't necessarily going to have as good of a result as high quality parts, well toleranced parts. Like rails and bearings and such from AliExpress may not necessarily perform as well as something from a more reputable manufacturer, and bearings from like actual bearings from SKF or something. Been NSK, SKF or NSK. It's this. I've seen those two used interchangeably. It's when you don't have a brand on it, then you know you're off into the territory of less well toleranced parts. Huge map. Gonna see how the view's slowly being generated. Haven't seen it until now. That's promising. Just got to warm it up a little bit, eh? NSK, SKF. It's been a long time since I really dealt with bearings. I can't remember the difference between like what the two different companies were now. Like they were both reputable, at least here. They were both reasonably reputable suppliers. Oh, or do you mean when the machine warms up to the point where because you have a Mac, the machine warms up to the point where it thermal throttles and settles down to its normal state? Because it's a MacBook. Thompson, never seen. IKO, neither. Nachi, that's familiar. NTN... Don't recall seeing either. Depends on where you are in the world. I would say. So save. Save in the day. Because here it's going to be a lot of Chinese, Japanese, Korean stuff. Both the good Chinese and the crap Chinese. Chinese can actually do good stuff. I know it's some people would find it hard to believe, but it does happen. Don't normally see much of the US stuff here, and definitely not European. Any rockets yet? No rockets yet. Don't even have the counter up yet. Sort of been holding out until the base is ready. Unfortunately, that's a long way away. Still. Hey, I remember this time. Oops. Super ship.
Mode show happy 7-month streak.
Happy 7-month streak indeed. Thank you very much for that. Show some love and hype in chat there, and hongs and yeets. The super ship throwing down 7 months.
Maximum yet.
If it gets old. I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing super sleepy. Really appreciate that. Hey, Rev's here too. Super early, I guess. Super early. Super. There's some other printed stuff I've done as well. Some really... It's interesting because it's really rough texture on that. There. The texture of that just looks horrible. Very rough. That's the first layer. So there's clearly something went wrong on the first layer. Just woke up. And then this is a different one. It's almost shiny smooth. Sort of a switch to show and tell. But yeah, shiny smooth. And then super coarse, super rough. Oh, super unpleasant. You can actually see it's a bit bendy there, right there. It just curled off. Here to build platform? Yes. It's and it's a consistent temperature. I did check. How do you make it leave? So I actually have it set. So train is set to leave when circuit greater than 1. And the way it gets greater than 1 is it looks or reads this signal here and this signal here. PLA. Probably better to do it here. Look here. So we have a wire connected to the train stop. Train stop just sends the train. Nothing fancy. I'm not quite sure what A equals 0. I think it's inherited at that condition. Yeah, so wire connects to these two signals. First one gets activated when there is a train actually there. And then the second one is when this one no longer is green. I've actually set both the yellow and the red to output a red signal. So when this one goes yellow or in amber, then it triggers this to go because it then gets 2. Yeah, I've seen that done. I'm not a fan of that one. It results vary. Heads up, the True 2 Dragon ISS docking should begin in 3 hours. Ooh, that opening should be 6 hours. Sounds a good way to blow up your house. Pretty much. But yeah, the results, I found the results vary. Everyone, when you see someone do it, the results look amazing. Whenever I've seen anyone else do it, personally, or I haven't actually tried it myself, the results were terrible. Yeah, so that's all it is. Just adding the 2 signals there. The reason why it does 2 is that way the train doesn't trigger itself. when it arrives. Admittedly, you could just plug that one in, but it's just a bit of a catch thing to help. Help, but not trigger itself. Help stop false triggers. All editing magic, yeah. Alright, I need to keep land filling. I think one more should do it. That'll be all good. Just got here. When is this tree for Mojo blowing up his house? Sure. Yeah, just dip the prints in 3 coffees. I'm not a fan of ABS. ABS prints are kind of nasty. Vanilla, I don't know, what's your ideal frequency size reach? Don't want to see 1 million patches. Set it to, I'd almost go setting it to super low richness, like the lowest you can set to. Pay someone else to get to print for you. Jeremy Clarkson. Didn't James May do that as well? Larger size, normal, maybe slightly lower frequency. And then like minimum richness. You can see what patches look like from there. That should hopefully give something reasonable. I have done a map like that before where it was, I think I set the patches to the biggest, but the least, but this not very rich. Admittedly, at the same time, you're kind of trading density of ore on a single tile with more tiles with ore on them. So you're sort of shuffling numbers around, but not actually changing anything in that playthrough. It's a spellmaster pew-pewing everything, as kiwi birds tend to do. As you know, kiwi birds shoot lasers out of their face and eyes. Automation in trains. You know, an easy way to automate an area of track that to not allow trains through until a certain number go the other direction. I have done stuff like that before, but it's very inconsistent because the trains tend to really want to go that way, and it's persuading them not to. That's the problem. Exactly. Hold it there, train. Can't have you skiving off so soon. Yeah, on the red belt base, I had something like that, and inevitably the train would always get stuck at one of the signals telling it not to go somewhere. Might be able to do it with waypoints. What is it for a set of 4 stations so that until 4 go out, 4 won't come in to refill them? I wonder if you can do that with... Can you do that with train stop limits? Probably not. Yeah, I always end up with some kind of problem with... You can actually reverse. I always end up with some kind of problem with controlling signals. Usually need to control a train stop before it. Ow. I booped the train. I booped the train a little bit there. I'd probably have to see it and maybe think about it a little bit further. This map, yeah, a train-to-train system, but at one build, feed 4 trains using 1 train. Avoid balances, thus counting okay. It's almost like you need a sequencer. Ever played this type of game? Should I play Factorio or Satisfactory first? In terms of chronological order, you'd play Factorio first, because it came out first. Depends on what game you prefer. If Factorio, if you really like doing the very technical thinking stuff, like you build something and then you want to make it better, and then you look at it and you say, "Ooh, I can make this better," then Factorio is where it's at. If you want to do a lot more adventuring and not really worry about the factory so much and the logistics, then Satisfactory is the way to go. Also, if you like, what's it called? Sanctum. Oh yeah, the performance. Play Minecraft with Buildcraft mod first. Oh, do you want to? Would you dare suffer through Buildcraft? Can you survive the suffrage of Buildcraft? That's the real question. Yeah, I say I know it's a bit of a wishy-washy answer, but it's one of those it depends things. If you like building and then rebuilding and optimizing, Factorio does that really well. Whereas Satisfactory, it's more of a one and done. You build something and then you go off playing about and adventuring, and then you maybe add some more to the build, do some more adventuring and exploring, gathering stuff, booping enemies, that sort of thing. Add some more stuff. Yeah, they're both factory games, but both the core of the game is quite different in like how you build a factory. Like with Satisfactory, you put a miner down, it outputs as much as it can onto a belt. Whereas here, you put down however many miners your number of miners you put down depends on how impatient you are. Buildcraft, it's a thing. Buildcraft was one of the early technical mods for Minecraft. Oh yeah, you can overclock the miners and make them go faster. You can also get Mark 2, Mark 3s and all that kind of thing too. And you can speed beacon these or you can speed module them. Yeah, but yeah, this one's all about building the big arrays of things and laying out the belts. Yeah, Satisfactory, to me it's always been more about the adventuring and the other stuff and the environmental stuff. Environmental as in the space that they give you. Oh yeah, Satisfactory turns into a massive ball lake by the time you get to like tier 4. Whatever the tier 4, the oil one, tier 4 or 5, I don't remember. T3 no, T3 isn't steel. T4 is steel. Yeah. And Factorio was also a much more niche game. Like you really got to be really in on that braining calculation type thing, stuff and junk. Oh, yeah, Factorio also has mods and blueprints and lots of lazy. Factorio was maximum laziness. Like if you want to, I could just take this, copy, rotate, flip it all kinds of ways. Satisfactory can't do that.
Maximum
Yeah. Just take that. Oh, that's horizontal. Vertically flip it. Now I've got a mirror of it. And there you go. Yeah, Satisfactory isn't really set up for megabasing. It depends if you're into that sort of thing as well. If you want to just make a massive base that does like what I'm doing, then Factorio again is where it's at. Whereas Satisfactory, if you're not into doing a massive base, then that might be more your thing. designing blueprints. It is. Can confirm I've done a lot of it. Can confirm. I mean, what I'm building here, this giant monstrosity, this has been going on for months. I mean, I haven't been playing it consistently. Iceberg with a follow there too. Thank you very much. And welcome. Yeah, I started this in January, but I've been playing it off and on, admittedly, when I can. It's still a huge undertaking. Ridiculous. Most of the way there, though. Still need more landfill, too. Is the fish counter looking? Good question. Fishy, fishy, fishy. I'm gonna eat your little fishy. There it is. What are we at? Can't even see it. It's in there somewhere. 60k. 60,000 fishies. Inconclusive? It's almost not surprising, really. Is that broken yet? No, it's still going. Amazingly. Oh, it print the first set of holes. Excellent. There's some holes. I can't actually point to it. On the front, where just up next to the Ender sign label, there's some holes, and it's managed to print those successfully. There it is. Blueprint mod in Satisfactory. I haven't done any Satisfactory mods. Needs more fishies? It does. Need much more fishies than what I got. The fishies supply is very low. Also, Satisfactory doesn't have fishies. That's a big negative. Like, that's a big negative for it, that I will admit. One thing that isn't going for it doesn't have fishies. So I can't collect the fishies. Factorio doesn't have lizard doggos. That's true, but you can live without the lizard doggos. Mainly because whenever I get them, they all randomly despawn. Which is kind of annoying. Satisfactory has a beacon. Does it actually have a beacon? I mean, I haven't played it in a long time. I haven't ever unlocked trains in Satisfactory. Mainly because it's such a ball ache to get to trains. Screenshot of balancing. Alrighty. They added bot hub train cars. I believe you can with mods. There's no plan. As far as I'm aware, there's no plans to add such a thing to the base game. Oh, I suppose you do have the grid here, actually. But not like logistic stuff. Will who had a pet worm? Mad Zeri did have one. I think Exterminator had one at one point too. Actually, yeah. It depends on what you mean by bot hubs. Hot tub train cars? Hot tub train cars would be good too. Open top ore wagons would be nice too. But apparently that's not possible. So yeah, if I come over here, this train, damn it, this train actually does have bots in it, and it can actually build from this train car. So if I send this train over to there, like so. I'll wait for this one to fill. That would have probably helped earlier. I have a lot of junk in my inventory though. It is a little janky. Blueprint landfill. Yeah, who is blueprinting landfill now? Okay, come on. Tell us now. Tell us now so we can spank you. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Well, it's not great at doing landfill. I remember one thing where our seeding was looking at a base um, to fix because someone logged a bug report with it, and he calculated they were going to spend like 94 years or something landfilling. Printing landfill? It sounds like something Velda could do, wouldn't it? Was it at least mine nuclear? That's the important question. Or are you using someone else's nuclear? I don't mind cats. Don't have a cat, but I don't mind them. Oh, the train ran away. So I can't do the thing and the stuff and the junk. Very rude of it. Well, I'll just get this land filled. This is the kind of thing I would do in between live times. That way you didn't have to endure. I just murdered a fish. Oh well. There we go. Nuclear age? Yes. Indeed. I thought it was a tree, and then I got close enough, and then just as I went over it was like, oh, that was a fish. The funny thing is, when I'm done with this, I'll need to jump back to creative to do the next build. The control units. Control units? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I need to swap these two. Yeah, I need low density structures here. So it can share. There we go. Of course, I'm gonna miss something because I got the thing too big. Yeah. Vomit some bots out that way. As you do. Yeah, see there's a doot there and a doot there. Pretending to be Dutch with a landfill. Sure. Why not? Probably the wrong spot, this thing. You can do it! Yeah, you drain instead of landfilling. There it goes. As I say, it's a bit jank. It actually works better if your player sits in it. Which kind of defeats the purpose. I don't know if that's available with the vanilla stuff, though. But it exists. No, it doesn't work in vanilla. It's a Factorio extended thing. Just reverses. Might have caused a diplomatic incident. You better pull out some of your diplomats then, or the Dutch expel them. Oh yeah, I can turn that back on. Yeah, can't get through the forest. You gonna make me pick up this fish manually? Oh no, good. Wouldn't dare make me pick up a fish manually now, would you? 55 spider long train. You just had 55 spiders chained all following each other. It's a lot of spiders. Yeah, Saudis and Chinese do landfill. Dutch just drain and then build dams and dikes. And then practice finger work with them, with the dikes. UAE, UAE? Yeah. Ah, you're not in robot range. Not that it matters, because the whole it's the wrong way round situation is still very much a thing. Isn't it is it UAE or Saudi Arabia that has the islands? I don't actually recall. I was going to say UAE now. I was going to say I was thinking Saudi Arabia, but no, it is actually UAE. The Flower Islands. You actually been there? Yeah, Dubai. UAE. Ooh, it's closing the holes. It's a dangerous part where it's closing the holes right now, so it's starting to float filament in the air. So that's where things are going to get interesting. So it's either going to fail miserably or it'll be fine. It'll probably be fine. Finger work with the dikes. I mean, imagine Palm Tree Island in the World Island. Palm Tree Island? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Physics and fingering dikes sort of collide, don't they? There's no way that can come out without sounding terrible, isn't it? Alright, next bundle of track. It's whack. I didn't think about this carefully. Because the low density is probably going to be huge. It's kind of funny how I've sort of concentrated everything in the one place. Oh yeah, the money. It was a second and third art. You can actually see them now where they sort of started it and then stopped. Because the situation changed and it wasn't going to be commercially viable. I think even the first one has problems now with erosion and such. It's not that the Emirates were out of money, it was more that the Emirates weren't going to make money with it. What are we building here? We're getting ready to build low density structures. How did I do it last time? I mean, this whole thing basically backed onto the rocket facility. Oh yeah, let's have a look at that thing quickly too. Where I parked Discord there. Spider train. Hmm. Packing all the science production in one place. Yeah, it's fine. Hmm. So in that picture, is that looks like red circuits. Make it bigger. Let me clear rid of that. I mean, I knew it was going to be a traffic problem packing them all there. So you got picture in question. You got that going into red circuit. And then you got the 4 red circuit. Oh yeah, you need to count each one through. I see. So you can't let this one load again until this one, and this one have all cycled. Hmm. I think it's a copper placement. Yeah. Where's... This is a very slow build, admittedly. It's not a lot of reds. Okay, science a minute. That's yes. It's a fair amount. I mean, it's a fairly compact build, or as it is. Oh, you actually only have one. Oh, that's clever. You only have one of these per row. Ah, yeah. You'd almost need to track for each one. My first thought is for each one of these, you'll need to track um, whether each one of these have been cycled or not. Need a thing to count when a train goes in. Like one, then that, then that. Then how do you stop it counting while the other ones are loading? So you would need, yeah, you would need to count the trains going into the track. So you'd almost need an independent counter for each. Can either let 4 in and 4 out the same properly. Funny enough, I'd probably just throw a million trains at it, and then just let it sort itself out. Do the brute force. It'd probably work. It'd probably work. I wonder if counting counting the total number in, and then whoever's greater gets blocked off. So you would have each stop set to a train stop limit of 1, so only one train can get allocated to it. And then when it goes greater than 0, you move it down to 0. That would probably work. I have an idea. And so I gotta remember how to do to be something like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3. Y in. Think this was it. My memory is a little sketchy on the exact details of this, but I think it was something like this. That? I think it was that. And then make it A. A. C. D. This is a very old one. Oh, yeah, that's another way to do it. I was thinking about just counting trains passing through the track or something like that. But I think I'm remembering the toggle wrong. Yeah, because it's pulsing. Oh, that's, yeah, thing that go there. Okay. That should, no? Yeah, I'm remembering this thing wrong. And then you get a total count. I was actually, what I'm thinking of is something along the lines of the balanced loader. That was how I was thinking of it. I just can't remember. The memory thing is escaping me. What I wanted was everything. It should count the pole. Oh, I didn't do the I didn't do the feedback on the other one, did I? That's why. I forgot to plug that in. Yeah, so you're 1. 2, and so on and so forth. This is just an initial thought. Doesn't necessarily need to be the actual solution. Yeah, you're counting them up. Although this is also counting constantly. Yeah, it gives you an absolute count. If interruption into the feed, you can unbalance. Makes the volume detection. Can you? Classically open the highest to lowest chest content. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if something goes wrong, it's going to permanently go out. Blah, blah, blah. I polluted it with the green already. You know, I need to compare it against all the others. Can't touch those trains. No trashing into them. Yeah, as soon as you go no splitters, you're bound by those rules. And this thing also counts up infinitely, which isn't the best. I mean, it's not going to be a problem. I mean, I've proven that having an infinite counter isn't an issue on trains. You can see the total deliveries. But yeah, then you'd look at this and see whoever's highest, then there's got to be a more efficient way to do it. I'm just sort of doing the loose solution so far that I can see. I believe it actually be less than. Oh, I need to actually output a signal. Yeah, it was less than. I always get the logic backwards there. Big brain game. I'm way too sleepy for big brain. So yeah, so it's not outputting anything until those need to be ands. It's like an and. If it's less than or equal to, less than or equal to, less than or equal to, then it lets it through. And then it says a train's allowed to go through. L. So yeah. A is apparently less than or equal to B. Hey, Ian, how you doing? Good morning. How you doing? Oh, it's input, not output. Oh, dang it. So if I bring B up, so it's 2, then it's equal there. So now L goes out. But now it needs to be equal with C and D. Then you would have to repeat it for each combination. Yeah, L, B, C, and then that. They overclocked a graph calculator by a margin of 80% to run 36 megahertz so they could play Doom. Alright, realizing, graphic designer and trying to make a thing for the event that's supposed to be next weekend. Oh, is there an event next weekend? I completely blanked on an event. Yeah, it's rough. But one of the things about streaming and stuff in general is that when like the people who are successful are generally like design people, arty type design people. So much harder when you're not so inclined. You weren't at the meeting and it wasn't taken up. Oh, was there a? Did I miss a meeting as well? I was at one meet. There was one like a few weeks ago. Yeah, like 3 weeks ago, something like that. Did make it after all? I can't remember now, actually. Was it early April? Actually, maybe I did miss one. Uh, hmm. Problem is, the startup and shut down the Reggie production is not a balanced process. There is an interrupt. Yeah. It's also that initial. The one thing I found with the no balancer thing also is it actually an interesting side note is that if you have an arrangement like this, the furthest one away is actually has less in it. 3 or 4 a.m. Yeah, it was some weird time. It was really late at night for me, I think, from memory. Yeah, you can actually see it in this copper train. See the top half is actually empty already because it's just so much further for the top half to travel than compared to the bottom. It seems to work itself out though. But yeah, that's my initial thought was a track pulse counter. It's just not the best having something that constantly counts trains. I suppose you could have it reset if everything clears. Hmm. I can't brain at the minute though. What are we working on? We're working on science for this base, and we're also working on a little circuit system for Senliken's problem for his red circuits in his 1K base. I was just thinking along the lines of a pulse counter to count the number of trains going in and balance out whether all the stop is enabled or not that way. Bit clunky though. And there's a lot of logic. So, because this one, I think I've done a pretty good job of at least trying to avoid circuits. Because amazingly, I actually do try and avoid circuits. One thing we do need to do, however, is pick this up. And then pick this up. Two in the way? That even happen? I don't even see where it's complaining. It's probably fine. That's definitely in the way. And you go there. Worst case, make up bills if it aside. Hey, take a bit. How you doing? Morning. It is actually fun to do circuits. It's just that I've reached the point where I don't have the motivation to really do it anymore. I hate to say it, but it's at that point. I've sort of done everything you can do with everything I can or want to do with circuits. That's Tile Ghost. Done everything I ever wanted to do with circuits. Try to wake up without coffee. Takes a while. That's, yeah. It's like cold starting a car. Just just for like half an hour. It'll start eventually. Hey, Glacier. How's our thingy doing? How's our holes doing? Seems to be printing still. Seems to be wobbling nicely as well. Actually, yeah, it's actually, oh, it's a little curved. It's curved up a little, but it seems to have survived. Should be about halfway now too. Yeah, closing those holes is potentially problematic. So yeah, these two I got the wrong way round. There's meant to be low density structures up here. Dirty trick with 3D printing, so add chamfers on holes to make the bridging easier. I actually did that. They're also stepped as well, so they're recessed. Actually, where's the thing? I had a thing here. There's actually a lot of chamfers. There it is. Some cardboard aided design. It's just testing the cutouts for the various plugs. Yeah, there. Just testing cutouts for the plugs there. This isn't the actual arrangement that's on there. I went all out with this thing. all laser cut cardboard mock-ups and everything. That didn't sound good. Use SolidWorks? Ah, yeah, cheating. Good luck opening between... Yeah, as soon as the next version comes out, and then immediately everything breaks. I mean, SolidWorks is good otherwise. It is a good program. Yeah, but the sort of curling up like that, the extremities, and I think the nozzle just clipped. There was a clunk, and I think the nozzle hit one of those bits that's curling up. That's what I was worried about. One of the things I did actually change this time round is I have the fan running at 50%. I'd normally run the fan at just a default. Part cooling or thermal? It's probably cooling because it's taking so long to come round. It's being a bit weird from the cooling. I don't know if I need more extrusion temperature or less. It's like the temperature seems a little on the high side. I think it's at 228 degrees at the minute. And that seems to be about as much as it really wants to be. Any more and it seems to come out a bit nasty. Apparently this filament can go to 235. But it seems like any higher and I'm probably over liquefying it. The bed's actually a little hotter than it really should be. It's at 67 and it's supposed to be 50 to 60. It also doesn't help that I'm running the thing at some absurd speed. Just like running as fast as it can. It's supposed to be building support material for extended edges too, but it doesn't seem to be doing it. Or building support, not using actual support because it's not a dual extruder, but it's supposed to be extruding some material to add support for cantilevered projection things. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be doing it. Whole part fairly toasty until the part completes. Overhangs, that's it. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, there's only so much you can do. Well, you can have it in a fully enclosed environmental chamber, maintained at like 80, 90 degrees. That would work. Try to hurt his feelings, maybe then we'll seek support. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Cheap phone box. In theory with a PLA, it just doesn't really matter that much. It's not supposed to. It's not like ABS. Hey, skull got drummed. It it doesn't, but does. Yeah, it actually does because you can't get around the thermal differences, thermal differentials. Possibly doesn't help that it's cold one side, warm the other, because it's near the window and it's pretty damn cold outside. And so one side's it's getting the cooler air from the window, the other side it's getting the hot air from the... Yeah, that ABS you need an environmental chamber. But you really, there's no reason to really use ABS anymore. Horrible material. Use ASA instead. Slap from the side. So a friend of mine had a TV where the picture would go blank, would go down to a line, and I walked up to one day and just went whack, and it came good. His friend's parents were there at the time, and they just cracked up laughing. So I was just going, and there was another time I was just banging on it, and eventually, because it would shrink down again, because it was set, because whatever was loose would settle back down again. So I just kept punching it. They just couldn't stop laughing. TV with a knob for channels. Ooh, proper classic. Here's a PM, percussive maintenance. Those the rotary knobs are really interesting things because behind the rotary knob is a set of tuning coils for each channel. And what you're physically doing is rotating in and out a set of tuning coil inductors for each channel. Only turn it one way. Probably... Yeah, that's. I don't think I've ever encountered one where you could only turn it one way. But it's probably again related to the contacts behind the tuning coils that are loaded into the knob, and that it probably like it's like contacts, sliding contacts, and it's that way, and then you're ramming the thing back against the angle that the contact is sitting on. So what is it? It's like there, and the thing's meant to ratchet up like that, and then down, and then you're pushing, and then if you go the other way, you're hitting against the ratchet. That's one possibility. Something like that. Like tuning a radio. Basically, yeah. Basically like tuning a radio. It's still around. It's actually on the floor now. It had to make way for the workbench. Sitting on the floor next to the broke it. It's the main thing. There's no way of knowing. Push button TV, one button for each channel. Fun feature was the panel beside for tuning knobs. You could adjust the caps. Similar sort of thing. Those ones too. It's just without the knob. As you're just switching in and out inductors. Fun things. I do kind of want to get one of those style TVs again at some point, a CRT at some point. Trouble is that the sort of the last of that generation were terrible. The last of the CRTs, early 2000s stuff, late 90s, early 2000s, until they stopped making them, were all terrible. Because they tended to they started using like the same phosphor for all tubes, that sort of thing. So particularly here, like NTSC phosphor tends to flicker because it's running at the wrong frame rate. I remember seeing that like mid 2000s, a lot of TVs start flickering. You would see that distinctive flicker. Acrolite, yeah, ASA. Time, yeah. There's quite a bit going on in those tubes. Why bots? Move on. Move on. There's so much work. A light touch. Oh, I've seen those before. Grandparents had a TV like that where it was it was sort of like this capacitive touch thing. You didn't need to press the buttons, you just tap them. It was kind of weird because it relied on enough glow for each interlaced line to survive until the next refresh rate, until this next scan. Like each interlaced line was scanned once every 25 or 30 seconds, but the collective picture was updated once. There's two V-syncs in that same time. It does there, like these lines, and then these lines, and then what is it? It's collectively each line, like the total number of lines is scanned. This always hurts my head, and I can't think right at the minute. Each even and odd lines are refreshed at fields. That's it, not lines, fields. 50 or 60 fields a second total. Yeah, so interlaced TV. The idea of it was that it scans one like alternating rows of phosphor. reassures you as the modern TVs messed up ATOD converter for old analog signal. Thus they had crap color and brightness. Yeah. Yeah, the odds and the evens. And a lot of people don't understand it. It's always, if you've ever been around here a long time, you know I ramble about it. To get rid of our old hardware. ATOD? Yeah. But yeah, the interlacing, it does, each sets of fields do alternate up and down. It makes sense if you see how it, because a camera tube does the same thing. And interlacing, it only makes sense if you have a camera tube and then a picture tube on the other end. Because a camera tube scans this, and then receiving end does that, and then the camera tube does the next alternating lines, and so then the receiving picture tube does the same thing. TVs don't deinterlace content before running various filters for broadcasting. Yeah, no one deals with it correctly. Interlacing is actually not really that much of a problem. It's just that no one really understands it anymore. No one understands how it works. Because everyone says, oh, it's 30 frames a second or 25 frames a second. But no, it's actually double that. It's two sets of fields. The picture's broken up into two sets of fields. Oh, analog to digital. A lot of digital does it wrong. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it gets the black level wrong. For whatever reason. Used to be basically be camera directed TVs before it was developed and recorded. Yeah. And then VCRs came along and it's just storing that signal in time. 60 field, yeah. That's right. It's funny. In the US, it's kind of weird how you deal with film, whereas here they just speed it up to 25. And then you either get a... It's actually kind of weird because you can either get a scanned film which is fully progressive, or if the film's frame is offset slightly against the fields, it means that half of the fields have one frame, half of the fields have the next frame. I mean, which is still reconstructible. It's just funny to see. So it is possible. So in theory, it is here. Well, you don't get tearing unless if you blend the fields or deal with the fields in some way when it has that offset field sequence, then all kinds of crazy things happen. But yeah, as far as like in a purely analog realm, or playing back deinterlacing, you don't actually notice when that happens. It's only when you actually look at it. Station doesn't even crop out the dots and dashes for closed captions. Seems... Do you know what? Every time something from the US is broadcast here, it always has that pattern at the top. Whenever they pull something across. It was always the case. Oh yeah, it was because no one knows in the analog days because it was correctly dealing with it. Do you still get the tape the trigger signal for the, it's like around here in the corner. It's like a stripy signal that triggers ad breaks. Used to see those on old shows. It's usually baked in. A lot of old BBC shows here have that baked in. Just because they rebroadcast the same thing they've had in their library for a billion years. It's still all there. Speaking of speeding up film, I actually realised what were we talking about? But yeah, the Simpsons here is actually one of those ones which is sped up. So it's like 24 frame normally, and they just speed it up to 25 here. Which means if you see the Simpsons here, you'll get Chipmunk Homer, which is completely normal to me. It was actually, I remember seeing seeing normal Simpsons for the like actual playback normally, and everything was so slow and deep. Technically, it has smoother motion because it was really 60 fields, just not the whole screen at once was fast. Yeah. There's I don't know how it works, but the thing at the top of the screen here, it's you can't it is there, but you can't actually see it. It's in the blanking interval before the actual picture starts. Because if you do some funny things with a VSync, you can actually see it. But you got to try to see it. This is going deep into memory now. It's stuff that I haven't played around with in a long time. Totally distracted from Factorio as well. At 16. What's the time? Let's save game. Let's go back to headaching. That headache with pictures and all that business. I need to build that too at some point. I'd be hesitating a guess. Is it something with something with NTSC specifically that forces the closed captions data to be in the picture. I know there is some stuff in PAL territory that can be seen, but it's really hard to see. Like you really have to work to see the closed caption data here. New broadcast hot tech. Occurs that dynamically allocate bandwidth, various sub-channels depending on the content. Yeah, the, what do they call it? StatMux or something. I think it was called StatMux. Where it shifts the bitrate of all the different channels. I might be calling the wrong thing, mind you. I know the channels all here, when that whole freebie thing was being pushed, which wasn't really anything, it was just a set of standards for broadcast digital because there weren't really any beforehand. It was just a mess of encoder standards. Possibly, like it may have a trade name behind it too. Let's see. StatMax is a statistical analysis, something like that. It's furnaces, train, reds, blues, something, pie pants, roll modules. There it is. I feel like that's a little short. Tell you what. Are we sure about that 74% statistic there? Should we commission Veldac to validate the that actual number? I feel like we should. Editor extensions. No, I don't think I have actually. Admittedly, I don't do as much as I used to. 142% of statisticians are damn liars. 69 or 42, or is it 42.69? We need to commission Veldak to discover these, I think, to learn their secrets. Oh, that's the old chess thing. That's actually obsolete now. Hey, it's finished making the hole successfully. Very good. 420%, 0.69. 420.69%. Some would say I'm trying too hard now. Probably right. Alright. Density structures. Where are you? Come on down. There it is. Factory must grow. Once again, indeed it must. Sure. What's going on there? Oops. Sure. Let's open that again. Even. What is it? 55028. 55030. There. Now the mute button this time. This is Factorio Lab. Exclamation mark Factorio. Exclamation mark calculator, is it? I've completely blanked out. I might stop early. Yeah, apparently 1,000. Is it really that many? Yeah, it's really that many. There it is. Yeah, it's called Factorio Lab. This is my new favorite. There you go. Looks cool. It's really nice. It actually has, so this actually deals with Factorio Extended. Oh, Kirk's is Kirk's even updated? Where is it? Settings, there it is. So you can actually put in all kinds of things. So you can put in pteranodons even. Go all the way back to 16 if you like. Bobs and Angels. Dyson Sphere program. Huh. They've added Dyson Sphere program to this as well. There you go. DSP's in there. Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility in this thing. It's the easiest to understand. It's the most intuitive. It gives you all of the right information. It's not, and it doesn't chug like a bastard like Kirk's does with that visualization thing. Like it actually works. It's about as good as the Barry Cunn one, really. It is a confusing mess, also, like that other one I've forgotten the name of. Epoxies and neoprene adhesives can be used for bonding ASA with wood adhesives. Neoprene adhesives. Contacts? I think so. I've never heard of a glue or adhesive being called neoprene adhesive. Looking up ASA, I take it. It is a pretty nice material. It's just the result is nicer than ABS generally. Well, mods easy way to understand and use because it's in game and there's aware of the mods you have. Yeah, I've never been able to get around Hell mod, admittedly. Never been able to quite wrap my head around it. So apparently this does 16. Wish you luck trying to get some groceries. New lockdown rules implemented yesterday. Oh, good luck. Where were you in the world? Again. There's a 3-day lockdown here in Perth, Germany. How is Europe doing right now? I haven't. I know it's apparently France is doing better. That was the last thing I heard. The slide hump working out. What button do what? I think that it tries to do too much at once. I think with Hell mod. Contact cements. Okay. For beacons was part of mastered, but really only for estimating how many buildings you need. Factory planner your payment, not tested. Factory planner. Factory planner was. I might be confusing Hell mod with factory planner because factory planner. One of them was super confusing to use. Anyway, so you need 520. Let's just investigate this. Recipe, take 25. Government's doing all it can. It isn't much, but at least some corruption is working. It's had a lot of face. Okay, I'll definitely have to give it a bit of work, a bit of a look. I just remember Factory Planner being difficult. Hellmod was easier, but it was still. It was all this like factory line stuff going on. It was a bit over the top. He's come a long way. All right, I'll give it. I'll definitely give it another look then. Give it the matrix solver to work. Anyway. Could I train this? A major rage. Yeah, it's more or less what happened to me. I'm remembering. You're bringing back memories now. It's just when it does. Was it? Was it Hellmod or Factory Planner, which had the whole idea of having factories, sub-factories, sub-floors, and all this just layers and layers of crap. I don't actually remember which. Well, they both sort of did it. I remember modules. So was modules in Factory Planner was the worst. Modules was at least intuitive in Hellmod. I'm going back over a year now. Hellmod can do sub-levels. That's probably why I'm confused, is if they're both doing it then it doesn't really mean anything. Anyway, so what I was thinking was maybe so the 55,000 there is only 12 belts. So like enough to make everything is only. So what if I go like 60,000? That's 13 still, because I need 16 belts. I mean, I don't need all 16. Pump it up to like 70,000. It's 800 machines. It's a lot of machines though. What is that? There's 22 builds coming in. What is it now? 17. Ooh, it's problematic. What about that? 19. I mean, it could do pairs. Oh, that's a lot of copper. That's a lot of copper. A lot of copper. What is that? That's 197 divided by 16? 12 per row. Hmm. Hmm. uh, that's now 11 per row. Things that make you go, hmm.
Maksimummyet.
How about that? What is that? That's 95. Should be more than reasonable. 16. 6. 6 is doable. It's more like that, really. Six point four, 1.6, so 27.7. About 1800. 6, 8, 9. Uh, 7. This is what I got to work with. 7. How many machines did I have here? 12. Whereas this is 22, so this is like double. So it's more like that is what I'm doing. Yeah, 3.9, 1, and 0.4. That's 19,200 by 2. It only goes me to there though. I was going to say, even more so. For some reason, the text to speech in Finnish is hilarious, isn't it? I don't know why it worked out that way, but it just did. It's 4, 5, 6. It's just. I don't know why it works as well as it does, but it just does. Right. It's going to be a difficult one. Da da da. Da 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 da. Probably don't need chemical plants or any of this crap anymore too. Wombats sort of cute. Wombats are also kind of cute. They don't smell as bad as koalas, admittedly. 1, 2, 3, 4. smell like eucalyptus? They generally do. Yeah, wombats like to, they burrow and have large burrow networks. Despite what you may or may not have heard, wombats didn't share their burrows with animals fleeing fires. It's more that wombats have such vast networks of territories of burrows that animals are able to stay in those burrows without upsetting the wombat. It's something like 30 kilometers, 30 square kilometers of burrows that they have, or something absurd like it's a huge area. Okay. Goes there, up there. I need a Kajigger. Another Kajigger here. So that's like steel going in, plastic. You can't move over another one. Unfortunate. They look fat. Maybe a cat is part wombat. It's possible. Maybe the cat is a wombat. Uh, okay. Da-da-da-da. That could actually be green. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. What is it? 1200. Oh, I didn't turn that back on. Whoops. What is it? 1200. Yeah, that's enough for this. For a single green lane. Yeah, when I forget to turn that on, it zoomed in because it's the desktop view is a different resolution. It crops the full desktop down to 1920 by 1080. That's 4. What if I utilize that for input? Input. 2, 3, 4, 5 is all I can get down, I think. Unless I do that. And that is as much as I can think of doing to make it work. Borer rice grow in trees? It's a real question there. Question is, do you like arboreal rice? Or is it arboreal rice? Might be arboreal rice. So technically this is 15. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so 12. Or if I feed 3, so it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So it's 18. How much do I get out of... Never share this with Clown. He'll upgrade Planner over it and it will stop working. Which language, places, stress. 2, there is the first syllable of a word that might cause the font accent in bot. Wait, what? I don't get the upgrade planner over it and it'll stop working. Oh, you mean the actual build? I mean the previous build it was even more so. He doesn't do belt weaving, does he? The different belt weavings. Something like 300. I can feed 3 machines with this. Current clown map someone made yellow signs using belt weaving. Clown did upgrade everything and the belt weaving merged and stopped. Oh dear. Oh dear. As is the way of the clown. I mean, we don't call him Mr. Town for nothing. Town? We don't call him a clown for nothing. One, two, three, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Worst part is you fixed it and upgraded the belt weaving. It's not fun. Next stream it happened again. With even higher tier belt. Dear. Loop. Quizzes. Right, ascending coming on in with that follow there. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. Some say that after Clown streams, others go and fix his mistakes and make the factory work. I see. Which was the slower of the two? It was steel. Yeah, steel. So steel can go there, plastic there, and the rest of this is all all this crap is just for making this crap is for making crap do crap. I'm gonna randomly plop these down for now. Slightly optimistic. So you were steel, right about there. You were plastique, right about there. And you were copper plate, right about there. You're having a bad day. They're all having a bad day, really. Excellent. Enjoying Clown's map. Forget he deletes. Builds first, then makes new better ones. Always happens. Oh, he does the old delete, then rebuild, not the build then delete. Because that's what you're meant to do in Factorio is you always delete the old builds first. You're gonna need 2 of these. The third one can have a loader. I can. One, 2. Buckle my shoe, something like that along those lines. I'm investigating for 20 minutes what's wrong. Mystic Town. Why is there no iron? Oh good, it does actually successfully insert it eventually. Very much one lane. Probably half belt it, admittedly. Just single lane it. And that would deal with that problem. Actually, it probably wouldn't. Because the problem with it is the belt's too fast. What's the rate? Could probably just green belt it even. Ah. Three. Oh, that one's a kind of a pain. It's kind of a pain. I got an idea. I mean, I suppose it can work. Switch it to that. That doesn't actually work. I'll be consistent and keep them all up there. Oops. A little bit much there. I need those. Yeah, the only way I can think to do this is that. Only way I can really see it working. Also, I have a lot of copper in my inventory. I mean, a little bit of a belt weeble wobble doesn't hurt. Surely. How much are we doing? 600, 700. It's not terrible. We're all fully stonked. Back on that problem again. Worst case scenario, I might move the plastic down to here. Oh, you actually go there. Go there. Yeah, I might need to move that just to stop that happening. There's trouble with reaching across an underground like that. So what's that reduced it to? 900. Still doing 900. Better for UPS, one long belt, or like this, or a few shorter belts. I don't actually know with the current state of UPS optimizations. This seems to be fine, for far as I can tell. Yeah, like this seems to be reasonably fine for UPS now. So what I want to do is that. Actually, I need to get these out of the way too. That's. I didn't want to say it depends, but it is one of those it depends answers. How big of a stack can the stack inserter hold? 12 by default. Or in the case of this, in the case of low density 10, because it's limited by stack size. Still printing. Out of curiosity, that's what it's. You can't really see because it's looking down. You can't really see the angle, but it's actually doing the next set of holes now. I think you can actually see the infill is very small. I probably should have increased the infill slightly. Yeah, Nugget has it a bit more succinct than me. When I say a bit, I mean a way better succinctly written. 100% infill or bust. Ooh. I think it's 15% infill, which is, yeah, it's actually lower than what I would normally do. Because I wasn't really paying attention when I pushed the button. What are we at? 900-ish? Yeah, 900-ish. And these aren't, yeah, they are not getting copper. Which is fine. Why does it feel like it gets overcrowded? Goes there. Another dirty 3D printing trick is to make the really thin cuts through the model to force the slicer to add ribs. Ooh, that is it. That is dirty. That is dirty. Oh, I see what's going on. Oh, that gifting that sub to no great. Look at that, 99 gifted subs. Good God. Thank you very much. Show some love and hype and honk in chat there. That mighty gifted sub. What are we at now? 1.2k. Gifting champion. Funny thing is, it's actually not enough. I need more. 1200 isn't nearly enough. Jack83 coming on in. Now we're doing a bit of the old theory craft again. Been a while since we've been on the theory craft. Theory crafting wagon. Hey, this helps with that setup. That whole thing and junk with the weebly wobbly belts. 2, 3. This one can then go there. Pick you up. Over to there. You can go there. So. Like I said, like so. Then we pick up another belt. Or another group of 3. Like so. Throw down another lot of these. Doop. Delete that. I just need to get the steel and the iron in. Then the copper. See how that goes. Or you could sit at 99 and be forever one off. You could embrace the one off life. I think I've outstripped plastic. But there was enough. How many machines is it again? Let me double check. 80. Oh no, that is actually too much plastic. I think like 1200. Yeah, it was like 1200. It was 1200, which was like 15. Was one belt of plastic. Yeah. I just put 1200 back in, and that was one belt of plastic. So I have one too many now. I could add another belt of plastic, admittedly. Max rate calculator. Yeah, I did do it a bit on the lazy way today. It's worrying. It means I need a lot more. I need like 3 builds of this. I might have actually done 2 belts down the original, come to think of it. What did I do? Let's see. There'll be copper. Then that. That. It's possible I half belted it actually. I reckon I half belted it. I could just load the save and see what I did, you know. Maybe I did do... Yeah, I think that's 2 belts of plastic there. Half belting it would actually be a neat idea too. Doesn't get me anywhere. I still need like a 3rd belt. But it's the thought that counts. Like that. Yeah, it doesn't reach. Hmm. Oh, I guess 1200 it is then. So what did the Factorio calculator say? We got the constant on the inputs. You build wide and give yourself more room. Every row was meant to be 1 wagon of train, so if I make it wider, it yeah, I could run a green one down. It'll be a little bit asymmetric, the loading, but it'll balance out at the. But it doesn't matter because it balances out at the chest, at the train unloader, like that. That's slightly problematic. Gotta get me substations in. Don't you know? One, two, three, four, 5, 6. So I want to swap them. I want to swap them around here. Which one was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one. I want to terminate that there. Start it up again here. I had to be at the same time that this belt swaps over. Suppose I could push it down one more. As I say, asymmetric, but it doesn't matter that much. I mean, I could also swing this earlier. Why is flow against by how people manage to squeeze 5 belts into a beacon build who can barely manage 2? That's my Factorio life right there. That's all I do. Cram way too many belts into too small of a space. It's like one off as well. Here we go. One, two, three, four, five, six. So it was this one. Dang it. Dang it. I could swap the steel, you know. Or something equally awkward. Like that. Pipes are worse. Fenders for... Yeah. Yeah, the same idea. I have this habit of not doing it just because I like it consistent. There we go. Pipe weaving a thing? Not really. There's no tiers of pipe like there is belts. So it's not really possible. That brings up to 1.5. It's custom. It's the bespoke model. What is that? 100 by 16 is now 24, which is 48. So I suppose I can get away with... I still need 3 actually. It's not tileable. I mean, it's not tileable, but do you actually even... There's the argument, do you even need tiling? Tiling is nice, but... it only gets you so far. 0.5... 1.5. It's arrayable. So 3 of these are 67,200 in theory. What do I need? I needed like 57,000 something or other. 55,000. 2 builds gives me... 44,800. I couldn't see it. I was looking at it, I was like, where is it? So I have to weave pipes. Oh, yeah, the weaving pipes. What's this? So the science per minute goal for this is 36,000, which is kind of modest for... Well, it's a lot of... But it's also kind of modest for Factorio Extended. We're still printing. It's actually looking pretty good. I see a layer error though. That's from a little while ago. TM Design Incorporated. Okay. So that... This can probably feed 4. What if they can feed 4? Just curious. Barely, but doable. I wouldn't mind getting the most out of a single lane. That's why I'm thinking it. Shaving time soon, TM? Yeah, it's starting to, which means it's time to mow. It's close to underrunning. COVID K, you haven't shaved for over 9 months. So you've got a beard down to your ankles or something. I also really need to pee. Oh crap, it's 5 o'clock. Actually gone overtime. Well, I think I have a solution. I think I might extend these to 4. Which and everything related to exponents is inconsistent. It doesn't like it, does it? Yeah, I might expand these to 4. We have 6. 4, 6, 24. I don't know if the plastic can maintain that though. Has to find out. But I think that might be a future me problem. I gotta get out of here pretty soon. Unfortunate it is. I wanted to start sooner, but I had to get the printer stuff sorted out. I had to modify. I ended up I had to change some stuff in Fusion before printing it and exporting it. Be Harley and apply for gang membership. I just managed to get 2 to the 2 working as it should. You're sort of battling IRC technically, in a way. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to leave it here. I was hoping to get this completely done, but not quite. I might extend it in my own time, and then we'll get it down into the map. Yeah.